Hello everyone, and welcome to my Update US Gossip channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. For years, Sister Wives has been the stage on which the intimate struggles and shifting alliances of the Brown family are played out for a global audience. At the heart of these stories is the complex, often contradictory relationship between Kody Brown, the long-standing patriarch, and his wives, each of whom has a unique role in the family dynamic. Among these relationships, Janelle Brown's journey has been particularly poignant. In a recent preview of the new season, fans were stunned by a moment that many believe represents a turning point. Janelle finally tells Kody that it's over. A history of hidden tensions. Janelle's relationship with Kody has been fraught with tension from the very beginning. Over the many seasons of the show, viewers have watched as subtle signs of frustration, unmet expectations, and emotional disconnect slowly built up. While Kody has long been portrayed as the charismatic and sometimes overbearing leader of the household, Janelle has often been the quiet, sensitive voice, one whose concerns have occasionally been brushed aside or overshadowed by more dominant personalities. For fans who have followed their journey closely, the build-up to this dramatic moment was almost inevitable. Janelle's silent suffering, her moments of private heartbreak during confessional interviews, and her growing disillusionment with a system that seemed to favor spectacle over genuine connection all contributed to a sense that she had reached her breaking point. Over time, the Brown family's internal dynamics have evolved in complex ways. New wives have joined the family, alliances have shifted, and power struggles have intensified. In this environment, long-standing relationships are tested as each member grapples with their place in a system that is as unpredictable as it is scrutinized. For Janelle, who once tried to hold on to hope and work through issues quietly, the accumulating disappointments have become too heavy to bear. In this context, her decision to finally declare that it's over can be seen not as a spur-of-the-moment reaction but as the culmination of years of emotional strain and the final rejection of a dynamic that no longer serves her. The moment of confrontation. The preview that captured this pivotal moment was a raw, unscripted exchange during a family meeting. Cameras caught Janelle, usually composed and measured, summoning the courage to confront Kody directly. In a scene that has since sparked intense online discussion, she calmly yet firmly told him that their relationship was over. The shock on Kody's face and the palpable tension in the room provided viewers with a glimpse of the deep-seated issues that had been simmering beneath the surface. For many fans, this confrontation is emblematic of a larger narrative, the breaking point of a woman who has long felt emotionally abandoned by a man who, despite his public persona of control, may have consistently prioritized his own ambitions over the well-being of those closest to him. This confrontation, though brief on camera, carries significant weight. It is not simply a matter of one argument escalating, it is the visible manifestation of years of pent-up frustration, unmet needs, and the erosion of trust. Janelle's words, delivered with quiet intensity, seem to encapsulate everything that she has endured, the repeated dismissals of her feelings, the constant deflection of blame by Kody, and the internal power struggles that have marginalized her voice within the family. For fans who have long sided with Janelle, the moment is both heartbreaking and cathartic, a long-awaited exclamation point to a narrative of silence and stoicism. The roots of the breakdown. To understand why Janelle reached this point, one must examine the broader factors contributing to the family's breakdown. First, there is the immense pressure of living life in the public eye. Sister Wives has always been more than a television show, it is a window into the raw, often unfiltered reality of managing a polygamous household. Over the years, every conflict, every private grievance, has been magnified by editors and dissected by millions of viewers. The constant need to perform and to conform to a manufactured image can leave deep emotional scars. For Janelle, this relentless pressure compounded her feelings of isolation and neglect. The very structure of the Brown family, with its shifting alliances and unequal power dynamics, meant that her contributions were often minimized, even as she carried the emotional burden of maintaining the family's cohesion. Second, there is the issue of personal ambition versus collective responsibility. Kody's role as the patriarch has often been defended by citing his responsibility for guiding the family through difficult times. However, critics have long argued that his style of leadership has been inherently self-serving, relying on blame deflection and control tactics rather than fostering genuine, open dialogue. This dynamic has not only strained his relationship with his wives but has also created a climate in which individual voices, like Janelle's, are drowned out by the need to maintain a certain public image. Over time, this imbalance has built up a reservoir of resentment. Janelle's final confrontation can be interpreted as the release of that pent-up frustration, a declaration that the time for half-truths and constant self-justification has come to an end. Emotional aftermath and fan reactions. The fallout from Janelle's declaration has been swift and polarized. Social media platforms are awash with reactions. Some fans are jubilant, celebrating what they see as a long-overdue act of empowerment for Janelle, while others express sadness over the apparent disintegration of a relationship that, despite its flaws, once held the promise of family unity. Supporters of Janelle argue that this moment is a necessary step toward accountability, a public admission that, for too long, the family's internal issues have been swept under the rug in favor of maintaining a polished narrative for the cameras. "It's about time she stood up for herself," one fan tweeted, echoing a sentiment that has gained traction in online communities dedicated to discussing sister wives. For these viewers, Janelle's confrontation is not just an isolated incident, it is a powerful reminder of the need for every family member to take responsibility for their part in the collective dysfunction. On the other hand, some fans worry that this dramatic moment might signal further disintegration within the Brown household. They fear that a public declaration of it's over could lead to a complete breakdown in communication, with lasting repercussions for not only Janelle and Kody's relationship but also for the overall family dynamic. In such an environment, where every personal conflict is amplified by reality TV's unyielding lens, the possibility of reconciliation becomes increasingly remote. Critics argue that while the confrontation may be cathartic in the moment, the long-term consequences could be deeply damaging, setting off a chain reaction of blame and isolation that leaves lasting scars on every member of the family. The role of production and editorial influence. As with many moments on Sister Wives, it is essential to consider the influence of the production team. Reality TV thrives on conflict, and producers are well aware of the dramatic potential of a public breakup between Kody and one of his wives. The way Janelle's confrontation is edited, whether it is amplified for maximum impact or presented in a more measured, raw form, plays a crucial role in shaping public perception. Some critics argue that the moment may have been orchestrated or at least selectively edited to generate higher ratings, while others contend that the raw emotion captured on camera is undeniable. Regardless of the production's role, the impact of Janelle's words has resonated with a fan base that has long been frustrated by the family's tendency to hide behind carefully constructed narratives. Broader cultural reflections. The unfolding drama between Janelle and Kody also reflects broader cultural debates about authenticity, accountability, and the role of public figures in modern society. In an era where there is an increasing call for transparency and vulnerability from leaders, Janelle's confrontation with Kody can be seen as part of a wider movement that challenges the traditional expectations of authority. Many viewers now expect public figures to own up to their mistakes and engage in honest dialogue about their shortcomings. Janelle's declaration that it's over is not just a personal statement, it is a challenge to the long-standing culture of blame that has dominated the Brown family's narrative. For fans, this moment is a reminder that true strength lies in acknowledging one's vulnerabilities and taking responsibility for one's actions, rather than deflecting blame onto others. The road ahead for the Brown family. Looking forward, the ramifications of Janelle's confrontation with Kody remain uncertain. If this moment of raw honesty leads to a genuine re-examination of the family's internal dynamics, it could serve as a catalyst for much-needed change, a turning point where every member of the household is forced to confront their own role in perpetuating a cycle of blame and dysfunction. However, if the conflict deepens without any meaningful resolution, the long-term impact could be the further fragmentation of the Brown family's unity. For viewers who have invested emotionally in the family's journey over the years, the hope is that this dramatic moment will eventually pave the way for healing, reconciliation, and a more balanced approach to managing personal relationships. Ultimately, Janelle's decision to finally tell Kody it's over is a watershed moment in the sister-wives saga, a moment that encapsulates the emotional toll of years of deflection, unresolved conflicts, and the relentless pressures of public life. It forces all members of the family, as well as their audience, to confront the harsh reality that maintaining a polished public image often comes at a significant personal cost. For fans, this confrontation is both a moment of catharsis and a call to action, a plea for the family to engage in genuine, honest dialogue about the issues that have long plagued them. The hope is that, in the aftermath of this dramatic revelation, the Brown family will find a way to move forward with greater transparency and a renewed commitment to accountability, ultimately transforming the cycle of blame into a more constructive narrative of growth and unity. Conclusion. In conclusion, the preview moment in which Janelle Brown finally tells Kody it's over is a powerful, multifaceted event that encapsulates the core struggles of the Brown family. It highlights long-standing issues of emotional neglect, unresolved conflicts, and the heavy burden of public expectation that have defined their journey. For many viewers, this dramatic confrontation is a long-awaited moment of accountability, a chance to witness a raw expression of hurt and frustration that challenges the family's carefully crafted narrative. Whether this moment will serve as the catalyst for lasting change or deepen the divisions that have long plagued the household remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the truth behind Janelle's words is a testament to the human cost of maintaining a public persona in a world where every emotion is magnified, and every conflict is dissected. As the new season unfolds, fans will be watching closely, hopeful that this turning point will ultimately lead to healing, authenticity, and a renewed commitment to the values of mutual respect and accountability in the Brown family saga. The sister-wives universe, long defined by its exploration of polygamous family dynamics, has faced one of its most profound tragedies with the passing of Garrison Brown, the 25-year-old son of Janelle Brown and Kody Brown. In March 2024, news of Garrison's death by suicide sent shockwaves through the Brown family and their fanbase, casting a somber shadow over the already fractured clan. Amidst the grief, Janelle Brown, often regarded as the most pragmatic and resilient of Kody's former wives, penned a deeply emotional letter to her late son, sharing it publicly on social media. The tribute, raw and unfiltered, offered a rare glimpse into the private anguish of a reality TV family navigating loss under the glare of public scrutiny. This act of vulnerability not only highlighted Janelle's enduring bond with her child but also ignited conversations about mental health, familial estrangement, and the complexities of mourning in the public eye. The letter, a mother's raw elegy. Janelle's letter to Garrison, posted on Instagram alongside candid photos of him, was a poignant mix of sorrow, gratitude, and aching nostalgia. She began by addressing him directly, writing, "My sweet Garrison, I keep waiting to wake up from this nightmare. How do I say goodbye to your laughter, your stubbornness, your endless curiosity?" Her words painted a portrait of a young man brimming with life, a protector with a mischievous grin and a passion for adventure. She reminisced about his childhood quirks, like his obsession with military history and his habit of sneaking snacks into his bedroom. The letter also grappled with guilt and unanswered questions, hallmarks of grief after suicide. Janelle wrote, "I wish I could have taken away your pain. I wish I'd known how deep it ran." She acknowledged the complexities of their relationship, alluding to tensions that had arisen in recent years, particularly during the family's COVID-19 conflicts. Yet, she emphasized her unwavering pride in the man he had become. "You were never afraid to stand up for what you believed in, even when it meant standing alone." Fans noted that the tribute avoided explicit mention of Kody or the broader Brown family drama, focusing instead on Janelle's personal memories. This choice underscored her role as a fiercely independent mother, one determined to honor her son's individuality beyond the sister-wives narrative. Janelle and Garrison's relationship, strength, conflict, and unconditional love. To understand the depth of Janelle's letter, it's essential to revisit her relationship with Garrison. As the sixth of Janelle and Kody's 6 children, Garrison grew up in the spotlight, his adolescence documented across Sister Wives' 18 seasons. Viewers watched him evolve from a shy boy into an outspoken, independent adult unafraid to challenge his father's authority. His bond with Janelle was often portrayed as one of mutual respect and dry humor, with the two frequently teaming up to gently mock Kody's grandiose ideas. However, their relationship faced strain during the COVID-19 pandemic. In season 17, Garrison and his brother Gabe publicly clashed with Kody over his strict quarantine rules, which required family members to isolate or risk being shut out. Janelle, caught between loyalty to her children and her husband, openly sided with her sons, declaring, "My kids are my priority." This rift alienated Kody and deepened Garrison's disillusionment with the family's polygamous structure. Despite these tensions, Janelle's letter emphasized her admiration for Garrison's integrity. She wrote, "You taught me what it means to fight for your truth," a likely reference to his refusal to compromise his boundaries during the family's breakdown. Her tribute reframed their conflicts not as fractures but as proof of his courage, a nuanced perspective that resonated with parents navigating similar struggles. The Brown family's fractured unity, grief in the shadow of estrangement. Garrison's death has further complicated the already precarious relationships within the Brown family. Since 2021, 3 of Kody's 4 wives, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, have left him, leaving only Robyn in a legal marriage. The departures, fueled by Kody's perceived favoritism toward Robyn and his authoritarian handling of family disputes, left the children divided. Some, like Garrison and Gabe, became vocal critics of their father. Others, like Robyn's children, remained loyal to Kody. In the wake of Garrison's passing, fans questioned whether this tragedy might reunite the Browns, or deepen their divides. Janelle's letter made no direct mention of Kody, but her reference to Garrison's lonely battles hinted at the isolation he may have felt in his final years. Meanwhile, Kody's brief public statement, "We are devastated and ask for privacy," struck many as impersonal, contrasting sharply with Janelle's vulnerability. Notably, several of Garrison's siblings posted their own tributes, celebrating his loyalty and humor. His sister Maddie Brush wrote, "You were the first person to make me feel safe," while brother Hunter Brown shared a photo of them hiking, captioning it, "I'll carry you with me on every trail." These posts highlighted the siblings' tight-knit bonds, forged in contrast to their parents' fractured marriages. Public reaction, mourning, criticism, and mental health advocacy. Janelle's letter sparked an outpouring of support from Sister Wives fans, many of whom shared their own experiences with loss and mental health struggles. However, the tragedy also reignited criticism of the Brown family's dynamics. Online forums buzzed with debates about Kody's responsibility in his son's estrangement, with some blaming his neglect for exacerbating Garrison's struggles. Others condemned the speculative tone of these discussions, arguing that suicide is rarely attributable to a single factor. Mental health professionals weighed in, using the moment to advocate for greater awareness. Dr. Laura Anderson, a family therapist, noted, "Garrison's death reminds us that even families in the public eye can hide private despair. It's a call to check on loved ones, especially those who seem strong." Janelle herself seemed to echo this sentiment, closing her letter with a plea, "Hold your people close. Tell them you love them even when it's hard." Reality TV and the ethics of public grieving. Garrison's death raises difficult questions about the role of reality TV in magnifying personal tragedy. The Browns have long traded privacy for fame, but navigating grief on such a public stage is uncharted territory. Janelle's decision to share her letter, a deeply intimate act, reflects the paradox of her situation. How does a public figure mourn authentically while shielding themselves from voyeurism? Critics argue that Sister Wives producers have exploited familial strife for ratings, pointing to storylines like Kody's COVID-19 feuds as evidence. Now, fans wonder how the show will address Garrison's death. Will season 19 include footage of the family's grief? Or will TLC allow the Browns to mourn off camera? Janelle's letter, while independent of the show, has already become part of its narrative, a testament to the blurred line between their lives and their performative roles.